So, okay, so let's switch into the game room to have a look what's going to be the first map. The first map looks to be islands or migration. Oh, migra. It's going to be migration, a bit different water than we have seen just a bit earlier from BF and VLNS. And looking at the civilizations, we are not going to be seeing something unusual like we did with the quadruple Vikings from VLNS, as RFR Darkly Wise is going for Japanese, Kanala is Vikings, and Spaden is Persians. Whereas for LeO, Salad Escape, Salad ESC, probably Salad Escape, is going for Hans, Hightower is Japanese, and Dagobert is Vikings. Well, Dagobert, wasn't that somebody like French king, like Frankish king or something? I think so, because I remember his name, and I think he's even connected to some Bohemian history. So it was probably the Eastern Frankish Empire or something like that. Could have been Dagobert. That's something like before 1000, so like 700 AD, something like that I would be expecting, or some such. Not exactly really sure, but I would be expecting that kind of age. And well, it all depends if I actually remember this correctly from my history lessons. Well, not exactly sure, but maybe you will know, and you will be able to Google a bit in the meantime in the chat. Well, but we are looking, how is it looking for the players overall? Pretty good placement of the gold, of course, so not any kind of problems, even in case he happens to lose the water. RFR Kanala in here, and so far not really any docks placed, but for the yellow player on the right side, okay, not really docks yet, yeah, still too soon for that, but we are seeing that he's just now recovering a lot of sheep just under his town center, because they are going to be running out quite soon, and you can also see that he has made use of two of those deer in here without all that much of a luring. So he just wanted to find the sheep first before doing something else with the scout cavalry guy at the top. Also pretty good to notice that he has connected his island, or he has the island connected to the top of the wall of the map, which basically means that there's not going to be any other route than through the channel in here in his island and the mainland. So that's also pretty good for any kind of control of the map and such thingies. But his gold placement is not really ideal. So if LeO Hightower manages to lose the water, he's going to be in pretty deep trouble, especially in Castle Age Plus, so War Galleys and Galleons, as this is most definitely going to be in range of those. Another player, for example, to have a look at is Dagobert. Quite nicely plastered towards the wall, so basically the same deal as his opponent, but it's nice for him. Not good placement of the gold, the same problem as we were saying a bit earlier, so he definitely needs to somehow battle for the water, because if he loses it, he is he is screwed. He is damn right screwed, because this gold is going to be under pretty heavy attack by absolutely anything in Castle Age, and without gold, yeah, what can you do in Age of Empires without gold on an island? Nothing. You can just hit the resign, that's about it. Well, another player, the last one from LeO, is Salad Escape. He's already working his way through the berries, as the deer are just too far away from him, and the positioning of the gold and stone is kinda okay from him. Even though this left side of the stone is not ideal, the one on the right is pretty much okay, and it's not like you are having like a ton of willies on the stone anyway, so he should be pretty much fine himself. He definitely isn't scared of RFR placing an aggressive dock against his opponent, as he is Han. Hightower is Japanese and Dagobert is Viking, so unfortunately they have a pocket in the Vikings. Rather, the other way around. Vikings in the pocket in here, and usually you of course want to have the Viking on the side. Well, but it seems like that it's going to be for RFR, as Kanala on the left side is the one to be having Viking civilizations at the flank. This is interesting. This is interesting and potentially sucky, but not all that much. There are still enough signs, especially to the gold from the left side, so not really all that bad. But usually you don't really want that kind of spawn, because it's not nice. Well, it is nice to look at, but it's not nice for your gameplay and such. A lot of wood for this island. That's something that is noticeable for it, but otherwise not really anything substantial, as he is building his dock at the back. So basically, as some kind of defensive measure, and I'm fully expecting that where the scout was is going to be going to the second dock, as I'm fully expecting that he will be wanting to be aggressive against his opponent, LeO Hightower, as well. Yeah, just now advancing to feudal as the first player with 22 villagers, so yep, that's exactly what we would expect from him in the minutes to come. A dock to the bottom from the pocket of RFR Dark Levi's, having a pretty decent amount of fishing in there, so not really any kind of problems with fishing for either of their players. Only thing that might be slightly problematic for have an idle in here, unfortunate, but not really for much longer, is for the teal one, as at the bottom there is a whole lot of nothingness in here, just a few shorefish and 2 deep fish, rather 3. That's not really a whole lot, but looking how he's probably going to be quite happy about the docks in here. Well, he's probably going to be helping his teammate Hightower, and we'll be seeing if that is going to be enough for him or not. At the bottom, we see that Salad Escape is still working his way through the aggressive docks on the left, so he's definitely not giving up on that, hoping that he can have a proper 1v1 with his Viking opponent. And the Viking opponent is building docks a bit more defensively. I would be expecting a bit more to the bottom, maybe, looking at the good expanse of fish, but he was probably not scouting that yet, and he just wanted to be sure, as really, the positioning on the map is usually that there are a lot of fishies in the corners, as obviously there's a lot more water to be had than on the side of the map, and well, that's basically a safe bet from the green player, and he didn't want to waste any kind of resources on some unfortunate placement of the dock for him. So, Feudal Age is coming on also from Hightower, Canala and Salad Escape. Aspaden has just finished exactly as we were expecting a bit earlier, with aggressive docks after he has started with a bit more defensive ones. And he's already moving in for the kill, and since LeO Hightower has just now advanced, so that means basically like a minute or two behind his opponent Spaden, well, he's going to be having a bit of a problems of developing any kind of game against him, and it seems like that he might not be even interested in that, as yep, the yellow player is just about now finishing with the blacksmith, which is of course going to mean that Hightower will be fast castling himself. Who else is going to be fast castling in about here? Maybe Salad Escape or Canala. Not exactly sure looking at the number of the villagers just about now. I would be expecting that maybe Canala will. But since he's Viking, that would be kinda weird, as Vikings usually go for galley spam at the very start because of the cheaper boats and whatnot, which makes them basically ideal for that. And I would be fully expecting that he is going to be the one to go for proper spam himself. Bit of economy from the yellow player, as he's just now waiting for purple player to come. But well, I'm not exactly sure if he's going to be ready for what is coming for him all that much, because these numbers of boats are much more than Hightower can muster right about now, and yep, that's not going to be all that easy for him. At the bottom, in the meantime, we see the first encounters between quite gutsy Salad Escape, who was thinking that he can have pretty much a 1v1 against a Viking in here, but that's not going to be all that easy because the numbers are not there, and right now the extra free damage for the green player RFR Canala are going to be paying dividends quite strongly and quite soon. Nice kiting in here, waiting for the reinforcements just about now, and if he's careful, he might keep this one galley alive quite a bit longer and dealing some extra damage before it dies and above what it was supposed to do. Some aggressive dogs finally being dropped by Canala. He's thinking that they are going to be needed, and I definitely agree. As his opponent Salad Escape is not doing half bad, but looking at the numbers just now, well, unfortunately, he didn't really keep this boat alive much longer, Green, did he? He is basically at the same situation as the purple player at the top, who is already having second flank of boats, who are going to be taking care of the reinforcements and the navy of the yellow player that gets created and whatnot. But he has already sent the first flank through because he has dealt with the reinforcements, or rather with the boats from Hightower, and right now he is going to be killing the economy of Dagobert, which is something that he won't be all that happy about. Seems like that he's not helping with anything on the water side, so it's going to be pretty easy Oh well, right now Viking player LeO was hoping that he could actually help, but it's unfortunately a bit too late. You can see already the transport ship, and that was a transport of what? I don't know. This doesn't seem like that it was transported. This ship that was probably just somehow captured by the boats. But what is important to note is that a lot of players are advancing into Castle Age. Dark Levi's, Spaden, and Salad escape with Dagobert, so that's interesting to notice that only Kanala is not advancing, and with him, the yellow player, Hightower, who is also not advancing into Feudal, who is having a pretty hard time against his opponent Spaden, quite expectedly to be honest. But he seems to be recuperating quite well. Because of the fact that Spaden has basically divided all his armies. If they were all at one place, there wouldn't be really much of a chance for Hightower to stop that. But since that is not the case, and he is having a bit of fun, and exactly trying to locate this gold mine, and once he does, he's going to be so happy about it, because War Galleys and extra range are coming in with Botkin Arrow as well, and yep, this gold is not going to be safe, and the longer that Spaden can keep his opponent of this gold, the worst situation is it going to be for LeO, and really, this is a chance for RFR to close the game right about here, because if they can gold starve the Viking on LeO's team, well, you can kinda guess where the game is going to go from there. At the bottom it seems like that RFR Kanala is asserting dominance on the water, but not really all that fully. He needs to be careful because the numbers are bigger for blue. Than now with the War Galleys, of course, as Kanala is just about now advancing to Castle Stage, and really he needs to be careful a bit more, because even without the War Galleys he didn't have the numbers and he was fighting right next to the docks of his opponents, which means that the reinforcements are much quicker than for himself. So some free extra damage for a Salad escape, and let's see how much of an advantage he can take from that. But we mustn't also forget that there's already a landing from the pocket of RFR, as Dark Device is advancing with Town Center into literally the middle of the island, and continuing with Archie range. Since he's Japanese, that's an interesting choice. You usually see Japanese as he's advancing into Imperial Age as well. So he was slung. I think I have seen the messages before. Yeah. Oh, actually, Dark Device is the one slinging Spadem, so that's the other way around. And that's much more commendable than the fast Imperial from him. That's really a very fast one at 23 minutes. Huh, that's unusual. But that might be because he didn't really invest into a water battle at all. And he just used the extra economy, and that's a pretty big one. Because if you have a look at Dark Device, he's having 37 fishing boats and 35 villages, which is by miles better than anyone else. And it's not even going to lead to anything else, because Spaden has won the water at the top, and LeOs are just about now recognizing that the game is just going to be lost because, yeah, the gold is in a bad placement. And exactly as I was saying at the start, once you are having gold in risky position and you lose the water, you're basically toast. And that's what happened to both of these players, to unfortunately Hightower and also Dagobert. And you can see that Spadem just killed 2 flies by 1 swat. Nicely played, nicely controlled. So let's have a look at the achievements. With Spaden MVP, well, of course, he was the best player in the game, and of course he also played the best. And he also received a bit of a sling, but really, this 22-minute Imperial Age on migration, that's a nice thing to see. Nice reaction from RFR. GG then. The GG.